So my name's Trace, and I'm going to be talking today about the three tiers of social products and designing robust relational infrastructure. First, I'm going to show you the problem, like why we need it, and then some data behind it and why I think it's important. There's a lot of data around it, and then there's going to be how we fix it and how we get through this. So first, the problem is why it matters. There's 50% of U.S. adults report experiencing loneliness, 30% report knowing all their neighbors, and 25% of young men are lonely daily. And these are like large statistics, like 50% of 300 million Americans is a pretty large metric. So I wrote down here, loneliness is no longer a feeling, it is public health metric. And then real quick, relational infrastructure is a term that I found or stumbled upon, but I'm kind of taking ownership of it. And I personally define it as the foundational tools and systems and frameworks that enable and support strong and effective relationships. And the key takeaway here is good relationships don't scale, but infrastructure does. So these are three examples. Three examples of demand that I see in the real world. So this first slide, these first two pictures I took off Google, but this first slide is like a Taylor Swift concert, and you can see at the bottom, that's the actual venue, and then behind it is free, people on a hill listening to the vibrations in the back. And I saw this a lot during eras. I saw a lot of people sitting outside the venue and just listening to the sound. So people want to be in person. They don't want to watch the Eras tour on Netflix. I mean, I'm sure they do, but they also want to be on that hill. That's probably some sort of, fire hazard. And then we had the mall in the second picture. And I feel like every time I go to the mall, it's always full. I'm I thought malls were dying. So it kind of feels like the media is telling us, or, the information that I'm reading online is malls are dead, but every time I go to a mall, it's always back. So it feels like a lot of people want to go there. And then the third picture is a picture I took at an NFL game. And you can see I'm at level with the nosebleed seats, at the very top. And it's very uncomfortable. I'm sure you guys have been there. So this is an actual picture I took, two pictures I took. And you can see straight across there are people in the seats behind the Jumbotron. And on the right-hand side, you can see people in seats that are not comfortable. So all this to say the demand is very real because people want to be together and they want to have these type of things. And we had to buy these tickets they were on StubHub or something, and they were expensive, right? These tickets far away. And they were out of stock. These are some statistics from the Surgeon General's warning that was written in 2023. And you can see most of them go down with the only one going up is the social aid, the amount of hours per month that someone spends alone. So you can just go through here. The engagement is down 5 hours. Companionship time is down 14. And the most staggering one is the social engagement with friends is down 28 hours per month. And that's from 2003. So it's about a 2-decade span between both of them. And then we have 10 hours of social engagement and then 6.5 with non-household. Even more, we have this our world in data information, and you can see around 2020 we felt a shift. I call it kind of a rug pull was pulled out under us, and we're oh, wait, everyone's at home, everyone's doing this. And I feel personally, I haven't felt I've fully recovered from COVID. I graduated college in 2018, and I was finding my footing, and then all of a sudden it stopped there. And you can see kind of a direct relationship between Twitch viewers on the right-hand side of Kai Cenat, Clicks, and Ludwig, all great streamers, but their view count is this, but transposed. So what that tells me, anecdotally, is that instead of spending time with other people, people are creating these parasocial relationships with these streamers. And I'm sure that's fine, but it's also a limit to it. There should be a limit to it. And people should be spending more time together. And these stats are pretty staggering. The last picture I'll show you is, this is from the Surgeon General's warning from down there. Lacking social connection is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And that's a jump scare tactic. And, the confidence interval is slightly less than smoking cigarettes. So maybe it's a little bit less than smoking cigarettes. But you may see this and you're but I like smoking cigarettes. It's fun. This is great. And that analogy, I do social media. I like Twitter. I like Facebook, and spending time on there. But it almost feels like spending too much time on there is a negative consequence, where 15 cigarettes versus like maybe like 5 cigarettes a day or something. So maybe asking, okay, you show me a lot, it's great, but like how do we solve it, and how do we move on from this like type of world that we're living in? So I want to propose 3 tiers of social products. First, we have direct two-way connection apps, and then we have tier 2, which is individual management apps, social management apps, and then tier 3, which is social schema and instructions. And I'll go through and explain each of them. So the first one, we have direct two-way communication apps in there, which you're thinking like Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all these apps. And these apps are designed around engagement instead of actually like connecting people. So what they do is they run algorithms that are not designed for connection. They're designed to create like advertising. And I'm not saying anything new here. This is like obvious what they do. And this is a good graph that I saw from Tobias. He does some really good research into this, and he's been speaking about it since 2018. But basically, there's a trigger, and then there's a response, and then there's a share, and then that creates like a wildfire effect. And we all feel this, right? Like if something happens to me, I might post about it, and then someone else is like, well, you're wrong because of this, and then it creates this like weird feedback loop. And I think what TikTok did really well is it went from trigger to response back to trigger, like almost really fast. It's almost like they like created a cycle around trigger, and that's why TikTok and short form content, I think, is like really enticing. So we have a little trick here. It's like tier 1.5 direct two-way communication apps, where they like try to pretend to be like these like apps where you meet up with people, but they kind of turn into like a paid subscription. So like Nextdoor, for instance, if you see something in your neighborhood that like triggers you, you post about it, and then someone reads that information, and then they get triggered. Like it creates this domino effect, and then it's like really nasty. I saw someone complaining about like a speedway being built, and then everyone like dogpiled, and it was not pretty. And there's no speedway. It's just forest right now. So, and then like Tinder, like we've heard things about Tinder being like just like weirdly paid, and like the way the dynamics work, and Meetup is, I guess Meetup could be 1.7, but it still is not a tier 2 product, I think. So this is what a tier 2 product looks like right now. We have like insane metrics, like how much I slept, how much, this is mine, this is just a screenshot, and like the progress and everything. It just feels very not human. So there are a lot of media being created currently about it. On the right is the blog that I type some things sometimes. And there's books, there's YouTube, there's like news articles being written. And it feels like, to me, there's a lot of media being written about this, but there's not enough like action being taken. Like everyone's like, oh, Facebook does suck, social media is bad, but then what, right? So the Anxious Generation book, highly recommend it. It's really good. It's aimed towards kids, but like when you should give your kid an iPad and stuff like that. And I think it applies to all of us. Like if you take the word kid and put adult, it like makes sense one-to-one. And this is something else. So I prototyped the thing on the left, and basically it takes all the events in your area, and then it ranks it using AI and a autobiography of yourself that you type in, and it'll rank like which events you may like to go to and how to go from there. So the difference between this type of app and like Facebook, for instance, is Facebook's incentive is to make money and not to actually connect you, right? They have like events and they have marketplace, but it's not their main focus. It's like secondary or third focus. Where this is like, there's no social sharing, there's no like messaging. It's just like, here's all the events. You can subscribe to it for, whatever, to get a ranking, or to get past like 20 events or something. On the right, there's also a good physical product called Questions for Humans. Basically, it's a card deck you can open, and they have like prompts being like, what's the worst place you've ever worked or something? And then it creates like this like spark connection. And they have like all sorts of like friends, family, dating, the whole thing. So I think these are good. I think events is really good. I'm really proud of this. It's just like something internal I've been working on, something I've been thinking about. But the need for physical products and software products that are not designed to enrage people, I think, is like missing. Like I hear everyone screaming, like everyone's saying it, but like no one's actually doing anything about it. And it feels like feels like people are just screaming in my ear about this. And then we have tier 3. And this is like social schema instructions. This is like the most vague one, I think. There's 2 YouTube channels, Healthy Gamer GG and Positive Peter. They both do really great work here. And basically, the intention behind this is like, what's the etiquette of like interacting? Like should I be pulling on my phone when I'm talking to somebody? Should things we learn as like a kid that really good, and they define it really well. They like have videos and they like define it. But there also could be products in this category. I just haven't seen any that are like compelling enough. Yeah, so I walked through the relational infrastructure, what it is, why it's a problem, how we got here, who's involved, tier 1 products, and solutions like tier 2 products, tier 3 products. And I really think this like space is like untapped. I think there are so many small wins to be had here that it could be done, right? We see people going from like Twitter to Blue Sky, but then like Blue Sky doesn't work because there's not the same people, or like it doesn't have the same support, or if you want to contact a company, they're not on Blue Sky, you got to go to Twitter to contact them. It's just like kind of a weird nuance. So it's like people are trying to solve this, but they're trying to solve it with tier 1 products instead of tier 2 products, and that really hurts. Like I want to see more people active in the world. I don't want to see more people active online. I wrote this blog post today called Life Through Announcements, and it feels like whenever I talk to my mom, she's like, oh, I heard so-and-so is doing this. But I'm like, how'd you figure that out? And she's like, oh, I saw it on Facebook. So it feels like she's like learning about this person through the announcement of their life. And it just feels kind of weird. So this is a call to builders everywhere. Hopefully someone's inspired by this. I really want to use social products. I want to pay for them. I want to get off Facebook and all the other apps. I hope in the future there's a world where people don't have to be under one company's control to talk to people and like distribute information. There's a lot of people who say like, oh, there's good in Twitter because it lets me distribute information, it lets me promote things, which is true, but it's also like the other side could be said about that, about false information, and the way like stuff propagates across social networks. So I hope you guys go out there and build something, even if it's just a little bit for like a product that you're working on, that's like part of it, and just the way the human is involved in the software. Thank you.